In this module, we will learn about the incident that marked the beginning of civil disobedience movement. After Purna Swaraj, Gandhiji felt a need to unite all the classes of Indian society under one roof, that is, the rich, middle, and the poor under one roof for freedom struggle. So, what did he do? He took up salt as a powerful symbol to unite all the sections of Indian society. British government imposed tax on salt and monopoly rights over its production, which means that the ones who had got permission under British government only can produce or manufacture salt. Salt is used by both rich and the poor in the same way. As it is one of the most essential items of food, Gandhiji took up the salt issue to unite Indians for freedom struggle. On 31st January 1930, Gandhi sent a letter to Viceroy Irwin stating 11 demands. These included the demands of all the sections of society. That is, it included the demands of the industrialist, the working class, as well as the peasants. This clearly reveals that Gandhiji took efforts to look into the problems of all the sections of the society, and the most cheering of all the demands was the abolition of salt tax. Gandhiji also stated that if the demands were not fulfilled by 11th March, civil disobedience campaign would be launched. Viceroy Irwin wasn't ready to accept any of our demands, so Gandhi started his famous salt march from his ashram in Sabarmati. He was accompanied by his 78 trusted volunteers. He walked for 24 days, covering over 240 miles from Gandhi's ashram in Sabarmati to Gujarat coastal town Dandi. He reached Dandi on 6th April and violated salt law by manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. This incident marked the beginning of civil disobedience movement. Now let's see how was civil disobedience different from non-cooperation movement. In non-cooperation movement, people just refused to obey orders of the British. But in civil disobedience movement, people also broke the colonial laws. That is, they broke the laws made by British. Thousands and thousands of people manufactured salt by breaking the salt law. As we saw how was civil disobedience different from non-cooperation movement, let's learn how was civil disobedience launched by the people. It was done in a similar way as that of the non-cooperation movement by boycotting foreign clothes and products, liquor shops were picketed, and peasants refused to pay revenue and chowkidari tax. Chowkidari tax refers to the night watchman tax. Village officials started resigning from their jobs, and people in the forest violated forest laws by going into the reserved areas to collect wood and graze cattle. Worried by the tensions produced by the civil disobedience movement, the British government began arresting the Congress leaders one by one. In April 1930, Abdul Jafar Khan, a dedicated disciple of Gandhi, was arrested, for which the people of Peshawar started street demonstrations against the British police. After a month, Gandhi himself was arrested, for which the industrial workers in Sholapur attacked the government buildings that depicted the British rule. The alarmed Britishers started their brutal repression by attacking all the people, which included women and children. About 1 lakh people were arrested. Considering the situation turning into violence, Gandhi called off the movement and entered into an agreement with Irwin on 5th March 1931. This is referred to as Gandhi-Irwin Pact. By signing this pact, Gandhi agreed to participate in the Second Roundtable Conference in London. In turn, the British government agreed to release the political prisoners. It was like a tit-for-tat agreement. In December 1931, Gandhi went to London to attend the conference, but our negotiations weren't accepted, so Gandhi disappointedly returned to India. Back in India, Gandhi was shocked to see Jafar Khan and Nehru still in jail. Congress had been declared illegal, and brutal steps were taken to prevent meetings, demonstrations, and boycotts. With great anxiety, Gandhi relaunched the civil disobedience movement. These are the few possible 5-mark questions that can be asked from this topic. If you're not able to answer all of these, do start from the beginning of the module.